Coming up on this week's FAS TV. In farming, both physical and mental health are vitally important to look after throughout the farming year. Marc Gascoigne is a New Zealand dairy farmer and Farmstrong ambassador. Over the past few weeks, Marc has travelled across Scotland to talk about his mental health journey and how looking after his well-being has become an important part of his day.
My name is Marc Gascoigne and I'm from Cambridge in New Zealand. Dairy farmer, 480 cows and also a Farmstrong ambassador. Farmstrong Scotland is using the template, if you like, from Farmstrong New Zealand. Farmstrong New Zealand has been a really successful wellness program. It's helping farmers and crofters. We don't have crofters in New Zealand, but helping farmers live well to farm well. A lot to do with physical health and mental health. It's by farmers for farmers as well. A lot of farming people involved in New Zealand, and I think that will be the case in Scotland as well. Yeah, it's very important. I think as farmers we are very good at looking into getting better grasses and better crops and looking after our animals. The animal health. Maintaining our machinery, but the one thing that I sort of neglected, and I think is probably true for a lot of farmers in New Zealand and Scotland, is we fail to look after the most important piece of machinery on the farm, and that's up here, our brain. So yeah, it's really important to look after that as well. And Farmstrong in New Zealand has been going for 8 years, and Farmstrong Scotland's just kicking off. So it is going to take a little bit of time to get the momentum. So this is just the start of it, really. So but I'm really hoping that farmers and crofters here are going to embrace it and make it their own and get in behind it, because it's so important that we talk about this stuff. I had many years suffering from depression and didn't want to talk about it. And the answer is to, I'm here to talk to people and sort of normalise mental health struggles, because so many people go through it, and it sounds crazy, but you think you're the only one. You think everyone else has got their shit together, if you like, but that's one thing I've learnt, that no one's got their shit together. When I was going through my struggles, I was desperate that no one knew. Whenever I'd go out, I'd put my happy mask on, if you like, and pretend everything was all right. But my life is so much better now that I've come to terms with it and done something about it. And I'm living the dream now over here in Scotland.
The Farmstrong Tour has been across Scotland, allowing Marc to tell his story to many farmers and crofters, with many highlights over the past few weeks. The tour, we're winding up tonight, but we've been in, this is number 12, talk number 12, so we've been all over Scotland. It's been really humbling, actually, to have people come up after the meetings and talk to me and open up and just say how well it's resonated. So yeah, we've been all over the country, including up to Orkney. I think that was maybe one of the highlights. Some of the highlights, I think, just little things like going for a swim in the North Sea at 5 degrees with Hazel was a highlight. Also, just meeting the people here. I've absolutely loved meeting farmers, and I've been away from my wife and family now I've been married for 35 years, and this is the longest I've ever been away from Maria, my wife. And that's been tough, but I've been amazed how the people that I've been hosted by I've felt like family straight away. So that's, the highlight is, there's a big part of Scotland in my heart now for forever, really. Love it. Have developed a love for haggis. Love haggis. I've sent my wife a recipe so that she hopefully will be able to have it ready when I get home, but I think she drew the line when she read it and saw that you have to leave the windpipe out of the pot so that it can drain. I'm not sure if she's that keen on that.
I've never been a whiskey drinker, but I've sort of acquired a taste for a good Scotch, I think, so that's been a big highlight. But probably the biggest highlight was being in a Scottish pub to watch Scotland beat England at Twickenham. That was magic. In my talk I've been, I've told my story about my mental health journey, if you like. So I think the key message to take home is that it is normal. So many people go through it, a mental health challenge. But even for people that haven't and don't, that's what Farmstrong is for everyone. I think it's just like keeping physically fit. You need to keep mentally fit as well. So even if you've never had any challenges, you need to check in and make sure you're doing stuff that's going to keep you healthy. Because if you don't make time to work on your wellness, eventually you will need to make time to work on your illness. So, my message has been, the talk that I do is working through the 5 ways to wellness. I go through each way of the 5 ways to wellness and just give examples. And they are, this is going to be a test because connecting with people, being active is a big one for me. Learning, keeping on learning, taking notice, which is also called mindfulness, and giving. But I've sort of given examples of how I've used those 5 ways to wellness, and I use them every day to keep well. And they're simple ideas, but they really work. Yeah.
RSABI provides wellbeing, practical and financial support to farmers and crofters across Scotland. Carol McLaren is Chief Executive and tells us what RSABI can do for you.
I think wellbeing is incredibly important in Scottish agriculture. The industry is under a huge amount of challenge. There's a lot of areas of concern, from loneliness of all ages, elderly people living on their own on farms in cottages, down to young farmers who are anxious about going back to young farmers meetings. So social isolation is a big issue post-COVID. But there's anxiety across the industry. There's a lot of uncertainty about what lies ahead, and a lot of challenges out there. So wellbeing is incredibly important. So RSABI have been very pleased to be part of the Farmstrong Scotland Tour. It's given us a really good opportunity to explain what RSABI does. We've been around for 125 years. We do offer financial support, but these days most of our welfare team's time is taken up on emotional and practical support. And that includes a free counselling service. So it's just really important that people do understand all the services that we provide. I think something that Marc has been really strong about is that message about not hesitating in terms of reaching out for help. And the quicker that people reach out for help, the quicker we can give help. And that can prevent people deteriorating and becoming overwhelmed. So that's a really clear message. And I think that keep talking, that getting together, that connecting message, and just how important it can be and what a difference, a kind word, a bit of time with someone can make. So RSABI has a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week helpline. Really simple number to remember. It's 0808 1234 555. It's free phone, doesn't show up in your bill, and the message again is just don't hesitate to give us a call.
John Scott is chairman of Farmstrong Scotland, and he's a beef and sheep farmer from Easter Ross. John has been on the tour and gives us an insight into what to expect from Farmstrong Scotland.
Farmstrong Scotland is really important because it comes at a time when our industry needs a bit of help in terms of looking after themselves. Farmers, crofters, young and old, men and women, it's really important we take time to focus on ourselves and make sure we get the most from life and improve our well-being. Farmstrong Scotland is a well-being programme for Scottish farmers and crofters, men and women, young and old. We've taken the idea from New Zealand and we're putting it into practice over in Scotland. And throughout 2023 we'll be rolling the programme out with the help of course, people in the industry. If we don't take time to focus on our wellness, we'll need to take time to focus on our illness. So now's the time to have a look at Farmstrong Scotland and start looking after yourselves a bit better. So over the past few days I've been on almost half of the tour with Marc Gascoigne from New Zealand. There's been a number of highlights, but the highlights got to be, for me, Marc himself. His bravery, his honesty, his openness in talking about what is a pretty challenging thing for many people to talk about, his journey with mental health, and how he has taken steps with the assistance of Farmstrong in New Zealand to improve his well-being and mental health. And now he can spread the word. And of course, giving is one of the 5 steps to well-being, and Marc is giving us so much in terms of what he's done in this tour. Other highlights would be the reaction from the crowd, the one-to-one conversations afterwards, those people that are going and making a difference to their lives and taking action. But there's lots more highlights to come, be assured of that. My key message, having listened to Marc, would be that I've got a bit to do in terms of my 5 ways to well-being. There's various things I can do to help myself. I know I have ups and downs throughout the calendar year, and I can certainly learn from Marc and his example he's set. And I hope others will do the same and go online and have a look at the Farmstrong New Zealand website for a start. You'll get lots of tips from there. And shortly we'll have our own Farmstrong Scotland website up and running with our own content from Scottish people, which will make such a difference to the lives of farmers and crofters across the nation.
What's next for Farmstrong Scotland?
The steering committee that's in place for Farmstrong Scotland is absolutely outstanding. There's some really good people on that steering committee. So what people need to do now is get involved, support them, and look, Farmstrong New Zealand has changed lives for the better, and if everyone embraces it and gets on board, it's got a definite, it will change lives in Scotland as well, so get on board.
Time for everyone to get involved in Farmstrong Scotland. There's various ways you can do that. Keep an eye on the social media and written press and our website, which will have lots of information coming soon. Get in touch if you want to become involved on a regional and local level. Get involved, folks. Go to the website and have a look. The Farmstrong Scotland website, you'll be able to get in touch with us. We need people on the ground and helping us. We'll need people on the steering group and grassroots level as well across the country.